to 2025-2026 Inter-House Debate Competition. With the first round, we have the junior category and we have the senior category. The first round, the topic goes, students should be allowed to design and vote on their own curriculum. Speaking for the topic, we have Senegal House, and against the topic, Benway House. Please let us put our hands together as the speakers take the stage.
You know, we spend years in school, years sitting in the same classrooms, following the same lessons, memorizing the same topics that someone, somewhere, decided were good for us, long before we were even born. And they call it our education. But how can it really be called our education if we never get a say in what we learn? I stand firmly for the motion that says that students should be allowed to design and vote on their own school curriculum. We know what sparks our curiosity, what challenges us, and what makes us want to stay up late researching instead of just counting down the minutes until the bell rings. When we study things that matter to us, school stops feeling like a prison and starts feeling like a purpose. And this isn't just wishful thinking, there's proof. Research, according to Education Week, proves that when students give more control, they get higher attendance, better education, and stronger engagement. Why? Because when people feel included, they get invested. Now, you may say, students aren't mature enough to decide what they learn. Really? We manage deadlines, juggle subjects, clubs, friendships, and sometimes even family responsibilities. We already make decisions in our education. We're just rarely trusted to do it. How can we learn independence if we're never allowed to be independent? Think about it. Whenever we get to choose our own project topics or reading materials, we don't just do it to get over with the assignment. We go above and beyond because it's ours. The 10th and 11th already do that in their academic research program. They pick their own topics, and guess what? We all witness their enthusiasm on this same stage. Now, because education shouldn't be something done to us, it should be built with us. When we're trusted, we care. When we're heard, we rise. And when we rise, that's when education finally works. Now, so I repeat, students should be allowed to balance, to research on their own clubs. Thank you.
It's like asking passengers to fly a plane, dangerous and unwise. While my friends from Senegal may sound sweet, let us be realistic. Students don't yet have the experience to know what is essential. If given the chance, many will remove mathematics and replace it with something like TikTok, how to go viral ASAP. Sounds funny, yes, but would that land us distinctions in IGCSE? No. The truth is, no one becomes doctors from watching dance challenges. We cannot trade algebra for the algorithms of social media. Education is not a buffet where everyone picks what they want. It is the backbone of national development, and it must be designed with the future in mind. Only experts, teachers, and policymakers can foresee what the economy needs. If students design the curriculum, who do we blame when the results drop? The teachers forced to follow it? The same teachers that have decades of training that students simply cannot match. Education requires structure and accountability. A classroom cannot run on vibes. Even in democracy, we don't let citizens rewrite the constitution. So why let students rewrite the syllabus? Finally, school is not about what we like. It is about discipline. We face challenges we do not choose. My opponents may charm you with sweet words, but sweet words cannot build strong nations. Freedom of choice is different from freedom to fail. Education is empowerment. While they are chasing trends, we are chasing transformation. While they are addicted to clouds, we are committed to clarity. While they are making noise, we are making history. Thank you.
My fellow students, think about this. We're the ones sitting in class every day, learning from a scheme that was made years ago by people who've probably forgotten what it feels like to be an actual student. I stand proudly for the motion that students should be allowed to design and vote on their own school curriculum. Why? Because we know what truly matters to us. We know what skills we are actually need out there in the real world, not just how to pass an exam. Imagine lessons that connect us to our future. Subjects like financial literacy, mental health, digital skills, or even global citizenship. Things that help us with life, not just tests. So don't you think students should be allowed to design on their own curriculum too? Because when students have a say, we stop just being learners. We become the creators of our own future. Thank you.
Giving students full control of the curriculum may sound empowering, but not every good idea is a wise one. Knowledge is not candy, it is medicine. Sweetness may fulfill us now, but discipline sustains us. A curriculum must be shaped by those who understand how understanding forms, how confusion becomes clarity, and how effort becomes ability. Gold only becomes gold by surviving the fire. Avoid the fire and it's just plain metal. Choosing comfort over challenge may feel easy now, but comfort has never built competence. Growth begins where difficulty starts. Student voices deserve to be heard, yes, but guidance ensures direction, success, and steadiness. Education is not here to entertain us today. It is meant to prepare us for tomorrow. Thank you.
Due respect, my opponent underestimates students. Really? Really? You said that students are not able to design their own curriculum. We are not mindless children chasing easy subjects. We're the ones living this education every single day. We're the ones staying in class and moving from every place. If adults truly knew what worked best, why are so many students bored, stressed, and unmotivated? Let's face it, education built without student voices is outdated and disconnected. The future belongs to us, so shouldn't we have a say in how we're prepared for it? Thank you.
That students should be allowed to be independent. But let's take laptops for an example. One of the biggest challenges we face in this school. When students are given too much freedom without sufficient maturity or guidance, they tend to choose what makes them feel good instead of what is actually good for them. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We're going to the next round, still in the junior category. Students should be able to choose their lunch tables instead of being assigned to them. Volta will be speaking for and Congo will be speaking against. Can we please applaud the speakers as they take the seat?
Assigned seating is like a group project with people you'd block on the spot if you could. Let's be honest, who here actually enjoys being forced to sit on a table with people you barely vibe with? Exactly, no one. For most of us, lunch isn't just a break. It's the only time of the school day where we can just be human. You know, laugh, catch up, distress. And choice, that's what makes this possible. Next, let's talk about mental health. Because it's 2025 and pretending it doesn't matter is simply not an option. I remember an introverted classmate who was stuck, literally, at a table where no one talked to him. This assigned teaching did not fix his loneliness. In fact, it made it worse. It felt like a hole was being dug right beneath his feet. But the day he sat with his friends, he smiled more, he answered more questions in class. He became himself again. This is not just a feel-good story. It's proof that letting us choose minor decisions such as where to sit can improve our mental health, boost our confidence, and even our academic performance. Now, my opponents may suggest that free seating may lead to a rowdy and chaotic environment, but giving us the freedom also means trusting us to act responsibly. When students have the choice, they are motivated to respect the others around them, including our environment. Now, there's some of you that may go, oh boy, assigned teaching creates fairness. Oh boy, assigned teaching mixes up people. Pause. Let's be real here. Forced interaction is not inclusion. It's awkward. If you've ever been paired with someone and two of you just stare at your food in silence, you know what I mean. Real friendships are built on choice, not assignments. When students get to choose, something amazing happens. We check up on our friends. We make space for new people, not because we're told to, because we actually want to. To conclude all I've said, free seating does not lead to chaos. It leads to character building. It leads to self-awareness skills. It leads to students actually looking forward to school. Because lunch is not just about eating, it's about feeling like you belong. And when students choose, they do not just find a table, they find their people. Thank you.
Freedom is great, but no one leaves others behind. Now, I know my opponent will say, we just want freedom. But my question is, who do we want freedom for? For the popular ones who already have a table set for them, or for the quiet ones who are waiting for someone to say, yes, you can sit here? Because to me, that's just not freedom. That's a fancy word for exclusion. Now, let's talk about something real, order and safety. We've all seen what happens when students are allowed to sit together for just one day. Chicken, ice cream, water, rice, mixed together. For fun, that's not fun. That's chaos. But you see, assigned tables fix that. They give everybody a seat and a voice. Because school isn't just about grades and homework. It's about learning about humanity. It's about understanding one another. You see, the American Psychological Association even made a first study that found out that students who sit with their diverse peers promote better leadership skills. So yes, assigned tables don't just promote order and safety. Oh, because you don't like people sitting next to you. That doesn't mean. Okay, now imagine. Let's say now everybody's allowed to sit together. Imagine the chaos. Take for example during Ramadan season when the Muslims were not in cafeteria during lunchtime. We couldn't even do announcements because of the amount of noise. Don't you feel bad for the prefect? Now, in conclusion, assigned tables build something greater, unity. When we mix and connect with real people, we build bridges instead of walls. Now, I ask you, what kind of school do you want? A school promoted by bullies and cliques, or a school that actually follows the 3 R's: responsibility, respect, and resourcefulness? Thank you.
To further emphasize what my fellow speaker said, giving students more choice doesn't just build responsibility, it builds confidence. School shouldn't only be about academics, it should also care for students' mental health. Allowing us to sit where we feel comfortable at lunch lets us relax, connect, and recharge. Things assigned seating takes away. Choice also increases motivation and inclusion. When students choose their table, they invite others who may feel left out, creating real friendships. That's not disorder, that's community. Now, the opposing side may say that giving students freedom could cause chaos or cliques, but that's simply not true. Responsibility doesn't grow from control, it grows from trust. When students are given freedom, they learn to use it wisely. So instead of treating lunch like another lesson, let's make it a moment to breathe, bond, and build responsibility. Letting students choose their own table doesn't create problems, it creates possibilities. Thank you.
Picture this. You walk into a cafeteria and every table is full, except no one wants you there. That's the reality if students get to choose their own lunch tables. We're here to make sure that never happens. If students choose their own tables, the same groups will always sit together and some people will be left behind. Imagine being the new kid, walking into a cafeteria where every table is already claimed. That's not just uncomfortable, that's exclusion. School isn't just about friends, it's about learning how to adapt, connect with others, and it reduces lunchroom conflict by 30%. Furthermore, without it, lunch turns into chaos, rushing, saving seats, and arguing over chairs. Lunch is supposed to be a break, not a battle. Assigned seating makes it calm and fair, and staff don't have to waste time solving pointless drama. To conclude, ponder over this. If what matters more, sitting with the same friends every single day, or making sure that no one's left to eat alone? We choose fairness and we choose justice because freedom means nothing if it comes at the cost of someone else's dignity. Thank you.
opponents stated that free seating creates chaos. But those of you that are hoping to be the class clown and the troublemaker, sorry, but are you not embarrassed? Must you always be the one getting in trouble? Free seating promotes us to actually behave, respecting school rules. And now, my opponent also states that we should be adapted to change. But let's be real here. Not everyone is comfortable being pushed out their comfort zone. Some people are just comfortable with the people that they talk to.
Now, my opponent said they don't like the people they sit with. They feel anxious because nobody talks to each other. But that's exactly why they assign tables. We don't just make assign tables because we want to disturb your life. We make assign tables so the whole school can communicate with each other and we can actually be a family. Because school is just not about homework and grades. I've said it more than once. This is the second time. It's about learning to understand each other. It's about being a community. That is exactly why there's assigned tables. So when you get seated with your seniors or your juniors, it doesn't matter. Age is just a number. We are supposed to communicate as friends. Thank you.
Judges, are we good to go? For the junior round, in fourth place, with a total of 107 points, we have Senegal House. Third position, total score of 126 points. Quiet, please. 126 point, third position, we have Volta House. In second and first place. Second place, 127 points. First place, 130 points. Moving on to the final round, we have Benue in second and Congo in first place. Okay, before we do the winning rounds, we'd like to listen to the senior category. Before we do the winning rounds. Well, like I said earlier, it's between Benue and Congo. So for the senior category, speaking on the topic, people should be judged more by their actions than their words. We have Senegal speaking for and Volta speaking against. Can we please put our hands together as the speakers take the stage?
My aunt married my 12-year-old cousin. Now, before you panic, take a deep breath. What just happened in your mind? Shock, curiosity, maybe even disbelief. With just a few syllables, I controlled your emotions using the power of words. But here's the catch. Once your confusion fades, what's the first thing you ask for? Proof. Because deep down, we all know that words can be deceptive, but actions tell us the truth. Fellow students, I stand before you to support the motion that people should be judged more by their actions than their words. Talk is cheap. It costs nothing to make promises. Every year, during prefect elections, grand promises are made on this very stage, such as trips to Costa Rica or banning teachers from setting tests on the same day. And for a moment, we believe them. We clap, we cheer, we vote. Then reality hits. No trips, no changes. Just empty words echoing down the hallways of broken promises. Let's be honest. It's simple to talk and let the words flow like a river. Endless, effortless, and easy. People might preach about teamwork, but vanish the moment hard work starts. Others might post quotes about kindness, yet walk past a struggling classmate. Is it the captions we write or the speeches we give that define us? No! History proves this time and time again. Nelson Mandela didn't just promise forgiveness, he embodied it. Malala Yousafzai didn't just demand education, she risked her life for it. These names echoed, not because of what they said, but because of what they did. Words can be beautiful, persuasive, and powerful, but they are short-lived. So remember this, words win applause, actions win respect. Thank you.
I stand firmly against the motion that people should be judged more by their actions than their words. I'm sure you all have heard actions speak louder than words. But let's be honest, that's just what people see when they run out of smart things to say. They cling to actions because words expose the truth, and the truth can sometimes be uncomfortable. They claim actions reveal a person's true nature. Really? Then why do people still fall for fake smiles, staged apologies, and carefully rehearsed I care moments? What actions can deceive, but words they give meaning to those actions, revealing who we truly are and what we stand. A handshake can hide betrayal, and charity can be for the camera, not the cause. In fact, studies show over 60% of people admit to acting kindly just to look good. So without words, how do we truly tell honesty from performance? Actions can deceive, but words reveal your true intention. And let's not forget some of our politicians, cutting ribbons, kissing babies, and donating to charitable causes. How noble, right? But the moment they speak, the truth just walks straight out the door. Words are the heartbeat of intention. They don't just describe actions, they create them. Every law, command, or promise begins with words. Words are what turns ideas into action. Words also move hearts. When someone says, I'm proud of you, or I believe in you, it changes how you see yourself. Something no silent gesture could ever do. And history also agrees with me. Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream. They were words before they changed the world. Nelson Mandela's words inspired freedom long before he walked free. Actions may fade, but words echo through generations. Because words are what start movements, build nations, and heal wounds no actions ever. So to my opponent, act all you want. But your words carry truth, purpose, and conviction. Your actions are just empty theater. Because actions may catch the eye, but words capture the soul. Thank you.
The truth is simple. We've heard it time and time again. Actions speak louder than words. Imagine a friend who says I care but vanishes when you need help. Words. And imagine a stranger who helps you without even being asked. Action. So tell me, which one of these two people really deserve your respect? Our world runs on performance, not poetry. Imagine a society where people only claim to obey the laws or promise to pay taxes. That's utter chaos, not progress. In addition, words can inspire, I know that. But without action to light that spark, inspiration will die. So I say to my opponents, you have been deceived. The only reason your word that you are fighting for matters is because you stepped onto the stage to act. You are acting, my opponent. I am acting. We are all acting. This is all action. So why are we even debating this? Judge by words and you will admire. Judge by actions and you will know. So words are intentions, action is evidence. Choose wisely. Thank you.
King's I Have a Dream speech. Those 4 words changed the course of history, not through actions, but through words. I am Eliora Ojonojiba Danjuma, and I proudly stand against the judgment that people should be judged more by their actions rather than their words. In this world, and even in this very school, actions can be misunderstood in seconds. You roll your eyes once, you sit alone during lunch, and suddenly you think you're better than everyone. But words let you explain, express, and defend who you really are. Let's be honest, people's reputations are built by what is said about them. One rumor, one twisted sentence, and your actions mean nothing. So if you judge people based off what they do, we're judging them through assumption and not truth. Words carry clarity and intention. They let us make peace, set boundaries, and stand for what we really believe in. Actions show what we do, but words show why we do it. And that why is very important. Thank you.
My revered opponents have argued that actions can be deceptive and a word can reveal your true intention. But have you even considered that if you can fake an action, you can also lie? And if words can heal wounds and treat people, how much more can a genuine action do for you? Ladies and gentlemen, please do not be swept away by rhetoric finesse, which may be full of sound and fury, but signifies nothing when compared to action. You can tell a million lies before you can fake a million things. Thank you.
Opponents mention actions. So why do we use words to do debate? Why can't I not just raise my hand like this and do like this until I win the debate? Also said words manipulate people. So can actions. Smiling at someone you dislike, faking kindness, pretending to help. Those are manipulations too. The difference, words can be challenged and clarified. You can ask someone to explain, but you can't question an act that's already been done. Thank you.
Moving on to the next round. In the senior category, we have the topic: society should prioritize rehabilitation over violence when dealing with criminals.
I vehemently disagree with the use of violence over rehabilitation when addressing crime. Shunning rehabilitation for violence is a fundamentally flawed tactic that only leads to more problems for the society. Rehabilitation means addressing the root cause. It means prioritizing mental health, education, and training within correctional facilities. The primary role of the justice system is to protect the people. Countries with famously punitive criminal justice systems, like the United States or Nigeria, have recidivism or reoffense rates between 60 and 85%. While countries like Norway and Singapore that emphasize rehabilitation have reoffense rates below 30%. That's half. The facts speak for themselves. Even within countries like Nigeria with high recidivism rates, some rehabilitation programs like the Prison Fellowship of Nigeria have reoffense rates of less than 10%. And countries are spending upwards of $80 billion a year on their prison system. $80 billion. For a 7 in 10 failure rate, it doesn't make sense. Rehabilitation is the only financially responsible pathway. And whether we like it or not, many criminals eventually return to society. A former inmate who is employed and paying taxes is a benefit. One who is homeless, unemployable, and reoffending is a danger to each and every one of us and a drain on the prison budgets, which are already strained in this country. To conclude, it's a paradox. We have a justice system to make a safer society, yet it uses measures that all but guarantee reoffense. It's a crime creation system. It's a system that takes people, punishes them, and makes them worse, and then releases them among you and me. This is the paradox we need to fix. Thank you.
When does mercy end and madness begin? At what point does forgiveness become betrayal? Look at the story of Ochanya Elizabeth Obanji, a 13-year-old girl, bright, full of promise. She was violated for years by those who should have protected her. And when her small body finally gave up, a nation wept. Yet, there are voices that call for rehabilitation for her abusers before justice has even taken a breath. So tell me, how do you rehabilitate people who destroy innocence itself? How do you offer therapy to a heart that shatters lives while the broken are left to pick up their own pieces? This belief that we can fix monsters is not mercy, it is madness. My opponents will come with soft words and stories of hurt people who hurt people, but oh please, pain does not excuse cruelty. If it did, the world would have burned long ago. Millions suffer Palestine and still choose peace, still choose compassion, still choose to rise. So why do we fight harder for the destroyer than the destroyed? Pain is not an excuse. It is a purge. It burns, it breaks, it shapes us all. And in that fire, some emerge stronger, while others choose to become the flame that burns us all. Let's be honest, rehabilitation only works for the willing, but evil rarely wants redemption. It plans, it repeats, it smiles when caught. To gamble upon safety on their second chance isn't compassion, it is delusion, and delusion costs lives. I'm not here to argue for vengeance, I'm here to argue for protection. For the man who deserves to come home, for the woman who deserves to feel safe, for the child that deserves to grow up, for every innocent life that depends on us getting this right. So I ask you one final time, when does madness become the real thing? When does forgiveness replace betrayal? Because pain is not an excuse. Justice is a hug. Justice is not a hug. Justice is a shield. And right now, more than ever, the world needs that shield raised. Thank you.
When heated with anger and struck with violence, a sword may look sharp but fragile. But when shaped with patience and care, it becomes a mighty weapon, not of destruction, but of protection. Just as a blacksmith, a society can forge strength through compassion and understanding. First, let's consider the effectiveness of rehabilitation. The National Institute of Justice reports about 68% of released prisoners are rearrested within 3 years. Violence silences a man, but he never changes his hands. In 2012, in Port Harcourt, 4 young students, the Alu4, were accused of stealing. No trial, no questions or second chances. They were beaten, burnt, and put alive. In minutes, their lives were gone. Friends, sons, brothers, why choose such senseless violence? In conclusion, choosing rehabilitation is not excusing violence. It's breaking the cycle. It's building a safer society. Thank you.
Support a law that sends your loved ones, murderer, rapist, or terrorist to a rehabilitation center for therapy instead of facing firm justice? A murderer knows they're taking a life. A rapist knows they're causing permanent trauma. A terrorist chooses to destroy peace. So why should we act as if they are unaware or easily reformed? By rehabilitation, we mean reforming criminals through therapy and education instead rather than punishment. Justice must prioritize accountability. These crimes are deliberate and offenders must face consequences equal to their actions. Secondly, rehabilitation rarely prevents reoffending. In the United States, 77% of released criminals are arrested in 5 years. This shows that therapy alone does not guarantee change. Supporters of rehabilitation say that everyone deserves a second chance, but second chances should never come before justice. Until every victim feels safe to sleep again, society must choose justice over mercy.
My opponent seems to misunderstand both violence and rehabilitation. Rehabilitation is not the absence of punishment. Going to prison is a punishment. It is making sure that those who are sent out, majority of the time not murderers or rapists, but petty criminals, young boys trying to survive, trying to protect their families, have a second chance in life. One of my opponents brought up the US, but like I said, that is a punitive country. Countries like Norway have less than 20% reoffense rate, and they choose rehabilitation. They also offer victim services and protection for those who have been hurt, which countries that mainly choose violence do not. Thank you.
First of all, rehabilitation is not prison. Violence doesn't always have to be physical. It can be emotional or verbal. My opponent mentioned countries like Norway and Singapore, but population doesn't compare to places like Nigeria and US with even more severe crime rates. Let's be considerate. Supporting those who destroyed lives rather than the lives they destroyed? I don't think so.
House 1 speaking for the topic, House 2 speaking against the topic. Volta against Senegal in the first round. Moving on to the final, we have Volta House. Second round, Congo against Benue. Moving on to the final round, we have Benue House. First, we'll take the final round for the junior category, which is Benue going against Congo. And the final round for the senior category, Volta against Benue. Please, can we put our hands together as we have the speakers for the winning rounds for Benue and Congo junior category on the stage. Please, let's put our hands together for them. Now for the winning round, your topic is schools should focus more on mental health than academic results.
They call it success, but a brilliant mind trapped behind a broken spirit is not an achievement. It is a tragedy wearing a graduation cap. We celebrate grades, ranks, and trophies, but at what cost? Every morning, students walk into schools wearing backpacks heavy with pressure, anxiety, and the fear of failure. You can't see them, but trust me, they are heavier than any textbook or past question paper could be. We say education is the key, but what happens when the key becomes a chain? When curiosity becomes competition and learning becomes surviving? Is school call of duty? 1 in 7 teenagers faces a mental health disorder. 1 in 7. Behind every perfect smile, someone is silently drowning. We hand out medals for memorization, but overlook the quiet courage it takes to just keep breathing. Academics build careers, but mental health builds lives. If grades were oxygen, half of us would have fainted during exam week. How can we face the future if our present is collapsing? Mental wellness isn't a distraction from learning, it's the foundation of it. A calm student remembers more than a panicking junior ever could. A safe mind is a fertile ground, that's where true brilliance grows. We tell students to aim for the stars, but some of us are trying not to fall apart. We tell them don't give up without asking if they've slept, eaten, or cried today. Because grades fake, certificates collect us, but compassion, courage, and joy, those are subjects that matter the most, the ones with no final exams. Maybe the real question isn't what did you score, but are you still smiling? Because a brilliant mind means nothing if the spirit behind it forgets how to smile. Education should not break us, it should build us, not just sharp minds. So next time you see a student smiling faintly after a test, remember, you might not be looking at somebody who did well, you might be looking at somebody who survived. And also remember, seek help if you need it. You can't say, Miss Patsy gave me a D if you can't breathe. Thank you.
I stand firmly against the fact that schools should prioritize mental health over academics. Mental health matters, yes, of course, but schools exist for one main purpose: education. Their job is to teach students about real life, real careers, and real competition. And in the real world, skills and qualifications come first. Without strong academics, doors close, qualifications disappear, and stress gets worse, not better. People usually say mental health first, but let's think clearly. When students fall behind academically, they feel lost, embarrassed, and anxious. Academic success reduces stress by giving students confidence, ability, and future choices. It is failure, not effort, that damages mental health. Yes, school pressure exists. It should. Life doesn't remove pressure, and the world won't pause for anyone's feelings, deadlines, or expectations. Schools that shield students from reality don't protect them. They weaken them and set them up for a huge shock later. This isn't just an opinion. Research done in child development found that students with stronger academic performances developed better emotional well-being later in life because success, self-assurance, and security. Mental support is necessary, yes, but support should help students succeed, not replace academics. Schools
Schools are not therapy centers. Their mission is education. Strong grades give students fulfillment, career options, and financial security, which is all crucial for long-term mental health. So, let's be honest. If we prioritize comfort over achievement, we do students no favors. We don't prepare them, we limit them. For all these reasons, I feel schools should prioritize academic with good support, but with achievement leading the way. Because success doesn't just measure learning, it protects students' futures and strengthens their mental health. Thank you.
Let me ask you this. What's the point of achieving top results when the student is falling apart on the inside? How can we expect to maintain those top results with minds that are tired, anxious, and afraid? When mental health struggles, learning disappears. As the saying goes, you can't pour from an empty cup. We have students struggling every day, pushing themselves past their limits just to meet expectations. All you hear from them is, I'm fine. But we both know that they're the exact opposite. It's time to realize that mental health does not weaken our academic results. It sharpens them. A supported student is always a successful one. Remember, a calm mind is the sharpest weapon that you can ever get in a classroom. Schools are meant to build students who are strong and confident, not exhausted professionalists chasing numbers. So let's start now. Let's build classrooms where students feel calm, safe, and open to speak up. Because then, a healthy mind is the only key to success. Thank you very much.
We all know that mental health is important. Academics remain the main reason we're in school today. Education prepares us for the future, for careers, responsibilities, and independence. Academic results show our hard work, knowledge, and discipline. Without strong performance, opportunities for scholarships, higher education, and jobs become limited. Focusing too much on mental health can sometimes be an excuse to avoid challenges. Learning to handle pressure builds resilience, a skill very essential for adulthood. Schools should support mental health, but not at the expense of standards. If we place it above academics, we risk raising a generation that values comfort over achievements. Students should learn to balance both, managing stress while striving for excellence. Because stress is part of life, and strong results open doors while excuses close them.
My opponent stated that failing is embarrassing. But trust me, if I had poor mental health, my main focus wouldn't be whether I'm an accolade or not. Speaking as an experienced accolade student who struggles sometimes. She also stated that school exists primarily for academics. That's their purpose, right? Schools shape more than careers. They shape people. You can't educate a collapsing mind. A student who's mentally unwell can't absorb lessons, no matter how excellent the teaching is. Imagine you had a crack in your forehead and they were teaching you. Wouldn't everything fall out? Focusing on mental health might lower academic standards if school relaxes. Mental health doesn't mean less discipline. It means sustainable discipline. Thank you.
My opponent claims that students can't learn if they're stressed or anxious. But stress does not automatically block learning. Unmanaged stress does. Schools already support mental health, but removing academic focus won't fix anxiety. In fact, falling behind and feeling unprepared causes more stress. Real life has deadlines, exams, and competition. Schools prepare us for that. Mental health and academics go together, but priority is still.
Academic pressure is more damaging to teenagers' mental health than technology. Remember, listen attentively, and please don't interrupt them. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies
and gentlemen, the judges, and of course, my optimistic opponent who seem to believe that technology induces more pressure than academic pressure. Let's just be honest. Most teenagers aren't losing sleep because of their Wi-Fi. They're losing sleep because of the cutout of their motivation. Because of essays, deadlines, and the fear that one bad grade might somehow ruin their future. I stand for the motion because academic pressure has quietly become one of the biggest threats of teenage mental health. The American Psychology Association has said that 83% of students in schools say that it is their biggest source of stress. That is not a small number. It is almost every student you know. We live in a world where effort isn't enough. It has to be exceptional. Teenagers juggle exams, homework, and expectations until there is no space to breathe. And while some pressure pushes us to grow, too much of it can break us. A study from Stanford University has found that students in high-pressure schools suffer chronic illness twice more than their peers. Twice! That is not motivation, that is exhaustion disguised as ambition. Now, technology plays a role in mental health too. Social media, endless scrolling, comparison, and whatnot. But unlike academic pressure, technology can also be relief. It's how teenagers connect and they laugh and escape from the world that never stops demanding more. And finally, here's the difference. You can put your phone on silent, break it for all I care, but you cannot mute expectations. Technology might distract us, but pressure drains us. If we truly want young people to succeed, we need less pressure, not more. Because the strongest students are the ones who never struggle. They're the ones who know how to stand even when the world feels heavy. Thank you.
Imagine this. A teenager wakes up, immediately reaches for their phone, and before they even say good morning, they've already seen 10 lives better than theirs. 10 perfect faces, 10 perfect bodies, 10 perfect breakfasts, vacations, and smiles. 10 reasons not to feel good enough. And suddenly, before their day has even begun, they already feel like they've lost. Ladies and gentlemen, judges, and my fellow debaters, unfortunately, that's the world that technology has built. A world where we measure our worth in likes, and where silence feels unbearable unless it's filled with a noise from a glowing screen. Let's start with what I call the comparison trap. Academic pressure asks you to compare yourself to a standard, a grade, an exam, or a clear goal. You know what success looks like, and with effort you can achieve that success. But on social media, the goalposts do not exist. The comparisons are endless. Teenagers like us are exposed to unrealistic beauty standards, exaggerated success, and filtered lives that no one can live up to. And that leads me to my next point, anxiety and depression. My opponents may claim that academic pressure destroys confidence, but academic pressure ends when the bell rings, when the test is over, and when the grades are in. You close the book, you move on. But technology, it doesn't stop. It follows you everywhere. According to the World Health Organization, teenagers who spend over 3 hours online daily are twice as likely to suffer from depression, anxiety, and low self-esteem. Additionally, apps are deliberately designed to keep you scrolling, feeding your mind with endless stimulation and false validation. The average teenager spends about 5 hours a day, 5 hours consuming unbeneficial content that destroys focus and increases stress hormones, all of which directly harm our mental health. It rewires your brain to crave that validation and to depend on instant dopamine hits. It's not textbooks that are glowing at 2 a.m. It's TikTok, it's Instagram, it's that constant pull to scroll just one more time, one more video until exhaustion really sets in. The CDC reports that 70% of teenagers lose sleep due to screen time, and we think that academic pressure is worse than this. Academic pressure teaches us discipline, and it teaches us academic pressure teaches us time management and discipline, which are essential for adulthood. But technology only gives us instant gratification and emotional stability. Thank you.
If stress was a subject, we'd all have A stars. Teenagers wake up at 6 a.m., survive 7 hours of classes, and then go home to more studying. It's like finishing a marathon and then being told, great, run another one. You can switch off your phones, but you can't switch off your parents asking you, why did you get 89? Why not 90? You can't mute exam season, and there's no skip ad button for pressure. The Lancet Child and Adolescent Health Journal reported that students facing high academic expectations are 3 times more likely to experience anxiety disorders and depression. We don't just lose sleep, we lose our will to live every time we hear tests, exams, IGCSE, my fellow year 11s, 5 months left. So yes, academic pressure doesn't just stress us, it defines us. And that's way more damaging than any screen could be. Thank you.
Let me tell you a story. Last night, I made a promise. Just 1 hour of TikTok to ease the stress of the 5 tests I had the next day. Simple, right? Before you knew it, one video turned into 10, turned into 1,000. Before you knew it, I had memorized every dance trend and laughed at every 6-7 joke on that app. But I knew nothing about my test. Sound familiar? Social media floods our minds with perfect lies. Every scroll whispers, you're not enough. Exams end, grades rise and fall. But technology, it follows us home, into our rooms, and even into our dreams. It steals sleep, breeds doubt, and traps us in comparison's cage. There is no doubt that every single student in this hall has experienced academic pressure. Yes, but technology, you can close a textbook, but can you truly silence your phone? So let's remember, academic pressure builds diamonds, but technology, it builds doubt. Thank you.
My opponent said, you can close your textbook, but the pinging in your pocket will never stop. But as you have finished checkpoint, you are thinking about IGCSE. As you have finished IGCSE, you're thinking about A-levels, university, subject picking, brag sheet, personal statement. You are always thinking about the next step. Your fear of failure, perfectionism, burnout, all start in school. Tech affects everyone differently, but academic pressure hits every student. It's universal and unavoidable. Instagram won't send you notifications for failure. Your teachers and parents will. Thank you.
I want to emphasize a particular point. I never said that academic pressure isn't harmless. Yes, it can be overwhelming, and yes, students struggle, and I'm telling you from experience. However, my opponent stated that there is constant fear of failure and expectation, but these things come with support system. Academics, here we have teachers to support us, we have our parents, we have counselors. Technology, there's nobody to support you. You can be going through cyberbullying, there's psychological harm that comes with that. Body dysmorphia, addiction, cyberbullying, these are all things that are effects. Academic pressure will end eventually, but technology can never end. Thank you.
Now for the final round, we had for the junior category, Benue going against Congo. The winner of that round is Benue House. For the senior category, we had Volta going against Benue. And the winner of that round is Benue House. The overall winners of both Key Stage 3 and 4 category, please, we're not done. Listen. In 4th place with a total of 220 points, we have Senegal. In 3rd place, 237 points, we have Volta House. Second place, 470 points, Congo House. And in first place with 491 points, we have Benue House. Now go to the Key Stage 4 category. Fourth place, 235 points, we have Congo House. In third place with 244 points, we have Senegal House. Second place, 253 points. And first place, 508 points. We have Volta in second and Benue in first. Now to the overall ranking. To the overall ranking of positions, which is what is used to determine the positions and final winners of today's competition. Fourth place, 8 points, Senegal House. In third place, 15 points, we have Congo House. Second place, 17 points, we have Volta House, and the winners with 28 points, we have Benue House. Congratulations to Benue House. Can we please? All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much.